Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Gita Marie and I am on a quest to get into the holiday spirits. I got back home from Strasbourg last night and at 7 o'clock this morning I was on a bus to Copenhagen. I'm going to be working here for the next week or so and I am in this amazing hotel. I have been here many times. This is going to be a very follow me around kind of vlog where I try to get into the holiday spirit in a sustainable way, in a zero waste way. We're going to explore as many sustainable holiday activities as we possibly can this week. Come with me while we get into the spirit without over consuming. This is my little room for the next week and I absolutely love it. So if we walk around here, we get to the bed, there is a little view outside, there is a lovely building, and I think downstairs there is an outdoor pool that we're also going to explore. The interior of this room is just always on point. And here we have the bathroom. Love the sink, always the sink. We got loads of products in refillable bottles, which we always love to see. Do love me a good face cloth as well. We got body oil and we got lotion. And here we have the shower. Okay, yes, also refillable. Very nice. Here we have my stuff. I just have to change really quickly. The ambiance in here is just absolutely impeccable. And I will be in this robe later today for sure. I'm going to change into something else now. I am bus gross currently, and then I have a Christmas dinner that I will be attending. I'm co-hosting it with my friend and colleague Thomas, and we're making plant-based holiday classics, Danish holiday classics. I'm so excited. I have to do some last minute shopping and I also brought my silicone molds for the twill. Anyway, I'm going to be vlogging that as well, so let's just get going. Most certain way to get into the holiday spirit is through food, so let's go. I arrived in the kitchen and started making my little blinis dish. It has a veil of red cabbage vinegar, and actually I call this dish Christmas in one bite because it contains all the flavors of a Christmas feast in one bite. We served it as a starter and everyone loved it. I was so relieved because I didn't bring any of my measurements for any of these elements, so I just absolutely winged it. Thomas made the rest of the food, which was heavenly. All classic Danish holiday foods, but veganized. First we had an aubergine in curry. It's usually made with herring and I never liked it, but this I love. Then we had tartlets, also a Danish classic. Then we had fried parsnips, which we call peacefish or fredsfisk in Danish. Long story. This was one of my favorites. With the remoulade, I could eat this every day, seriously. And the last serving was a vegan frikadelle, which is like a big meatball with horseradish. And then we had wine, lots of it. Overall, it was just a really good night with a lot of really great people. We're pretty hungover today. The Christmas lunch slash party yesterday was a blast. It was amazing. My friend Thomas did most of the work and then I did like 10% of it. Anyway, we had a really great day. Today my partner and I are going to a museum. Which one we haven't quite decided. And it's not necessarily a very Christmassy thing. However, giving museum tickets as experience gifts is one of my favorite things. It's always a great and also low waste, low impact activity. So that's what we're doing. This is completely free, by the way. It's in the courtyard of the Science Museum, but it's the biggest iron meteorite in the world. 16 tons. And you just come in and see it. This is really cool. I have been wanting to see the exhibit Against All Odds for a really long time, and we just made it. It's about women in art history and their often overlooked contribution. But it was also about the importance of documenting women's work on equal fashion as men's, which often doesn't happen, and when it's not documented properly, it doesn't become part of our history. There was also another exhibit called Mensch. Definitely, if you're in Copenhagen, go and experience both of these exhibits. We had to stop by at least one Christmas market. It had to be done. This one is at Torvehallerne. Typically, you would get gløgg, which is a warm red wine drink, but I don't really care for it so much. So we decided to get a glass of champagne instead. We also stopped by Glen, who makes vegan meringue treats, in Danish flødeboller, using the water from chickpeas. I love them to bits and I've tasted all the different flavors that they had at this point. Usually during the year, I am not necessarily very big on classic Danish flavors and dishes, but I don't know, during December, I just can't get enough of it. I'm going to go and meet a friend slash colleague, a fellow content creator who is an absolute badass and makes the most incredible food. And we're gonna go to Café Kaf. I've been here many times. It's one of my favorite cafes and we're gonna have a Christmas treat. If you hadn't noticed, a lot of my holiday celebrations are related to the consumption of food, and I stand by that 100%. I have also, within the past few days in Copenhagen, and I see this at home in Aalborg as well, but I walk past secondhand stores, thrift stores with so much Christmas decor. There's no need to ever buy this from new. The thrift stores are overflowing with it, so it's cheaper and it's more sustainable to buy pre-loved. Gifts is obviously a really big part of most people's Christmas preparations, and it is so for me as well. But in one of the previous videos that I posted, I also thrifted a lot of my gifts, but I like to give experience presents. And for the last few days, I've been wandering around Copenhagen thinking about what kind of experience gifts I both want to give and want to receive. So here are my top contenders. Jewelry making class, they'll be bomb. Museum tours, obviously. Restaurant visits and wine pairings. I would love to try tufting as well. And there's also ceramic painting classes. Honestly, any kind of skill class, cooking classes as well. Oh my god. This one is so oddly specific, but bird watching. If we're in sort of the bigger end of the spectrum, there's also interrail tickets, train rides, train vacations. Any kind of exercise experience like martial arts classes, dancing courses. Also something low-key practical like a voucher to the hairdresser or a voucher to a tailor, or like any kind of repair. Or experiences in nature like picnics, hikes. Now look at that, I found a Christmas tree. There are so many options when it comes to giving more sustainable gifts. It can be something so much more valuable than any kind of crap from a store. By the way, I just had lunch at Gao. I go there so often because of their double fried tofu. And they, just like a lot of other shops in the area, are boycotting Coca-Cola, which I do love to see, not only because of Gaza, but also because it's the biggest plastic polluter in the world. A boycott of Coca-Cola is thus very win-win. Instead, they have a local Danish brand. I think that is so much better in every possible way. Hello guys, I am back in my own home. I thought I wanted to share with you some of the ways that I get into the festive holiday vibe in a sustainable way at home, because honestly, I prefer to spend the vast majority of the holidays in my own home, in my pajamas, under my covers, cozying up, and I'm looking so much forward to it. Oh, you have no idea. But one of the things that I wanted to specifically talk about were like decorations, trees, etc. A few years ago, I made a video about Christmas trees, whether or not it's more or less sustainable to buy a Christmas tree or to get a plastic tree. And I wanted to show you guys my tree as well. I've showed you this before in some of the older holiday Christmas videos, but it hasn't changed because I'm still using it. So this is my Christmas tree and there's a star on the top. This is my tree. I got this secondhand a few years ago, 5 years ago, and I've been using it ever since. And then you can decorate it, you can put lights on it, whatever you want to do. I love this thing to bits. One last thing in this video, but I have to talk about these ornaments because they're made from trash. And this is how I made them. Yeah, you're getting a DIY tutorial in this video as well. Who could have known? It seems like every December you have to do at least one craft, which is a lot for someone who isn't exactly crafty. But it just means that everyone can make this. You will need very few things for this DIY, so maybe you already have everything that you need to make them. I used some secondhand fabric that I've used as gift wrapping for years, but now it's full of stains, but don't ask why or how, because I don't know from what. I cut out 2 hearts and made sure that they were roughly the same size. And then I used some secondhand yarn to sew them together. I pushed the needle through the same side of the fabric to create these small loops around the edges. I think it's called a blanket stitch. It'll hold the filling in place. Then I take my fabric scraps and I stuff it. This is where the zero waste part comes in. I also have a crusty piece of cheesecloth that I'm adding in here as well. So any kind of fabric waste you can use in this DIY to fill your ornament. I also used a candy wrapper. Anything goes, and that is zero waste. And that's it. This will be my 3 pieces of holiday decor this year. I'm considering even giving them away as gifts. What do you think? Is that cute or is that pushing it a little bit? If you want to save this DIY, I've also made it into a short, so you can go and find that on my shorts list as well. And that is everything for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I would love to hear what kind of holiday traditions you have in your country, what you do to make them more sustainable, and overall how you just prefer to spend this time of the year, whether you celebrate Christmas or not. Thank you so much for watching. Have an amazing day and take really good care of yourselves. Until next time. Bye. Bye.
Thank you so much for watching this video, and also a special thank you to my Patreon supporters. You guys help me create green zero waste content, and I love you guys. You can find the links to my social media accounts down below and the link to my Patreon on this screen. Bye!